My beloved child, prepare yourself, for I am about to speak to you of matters that are vital to your spiritual journey, truths that can reshape the way you see yourself, the world around you, and even the way you see me. Consider this moment as though you are stepping into a quiet, hidden chamber where I have been waiting for you. A place without noise and without pressure. A place where my gentle yet sovereign presence surrounds you, steadies your heart, and turns it back to its true alignment. My child, I want you to understand something that, if you truly grasp it, will transform your life completely. You do not need any other shield or wall when I am the one who stands beside you. My protection is unlike any protection the world tries to offer. I do not guard you from afar. I am present in every breath, every step, every tear, every moment of your weakness. My presence is not only an embrace that shelters you, it is also the very strength that keeps darkness from touching even a single strand of your being. Yet, my child, what burdens me the most is not the power of your enemy. What weighs on my heart is when you forget me, because, in those moments, the spaces I once filled with light become openings where the enemy slips in to plant fear, unrest, and doubt. Listen carefully to me. A life lived apart from my presence is not only fragile, it becomes profoundly vulnerable. It is not because I withdraw my protection, but because when you step away from me, you unintentionally open the door to things that do not belong to me. I never abandon you, never, but your choices can lead you away from the light. Like a traveler lost in the desert, not because the sun has disappeared, but because they have wandered off the path of safety that I laid out from the beginning. My beloved child, I need to tell you this more clearly than ever. Certain actions, certain attitudes, certain habits you hold on to may be pulling you away from me. These are not the failures born from moments of weakness. I have seen them, I understand them, and I have already covered them with mercy. No, I speak of the things you stubbornly cling to even though you know they wound your own soul. Every step you take outside of my guidance is a step closer to the place where darkness can surround you. Some things may seem harmless, but in truth, they have the power to push you outside the shelter of my embrace, into the place where the enemy waits to make you stumble. I say this not to frighten you, but to awaken you to the reality of the unseen battle. You often think the enemy attacks with force, but that is not so. He attacks with subtlety. He does not appear in terrifying form. He comes in the shape of seemingly harmless choices. In thoughts you dismiss as just this once. In words you excuse as not a big deal. He seeks out the corners where you feel most confident, the places you believe require no caution. But my child, those very places become the easiest doors to open when you do not keep me at the center. What does he want from you? He wants to make you forget the purpose I placed in you before you were ever formed. He wants you to believe that you are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough for my love. He wants to plant in your heart doubts about yourself, about your future, and worst of all, doubts about me. For once you begin to question me, your connection to the source of your life weakens, and in that weakening, he finds room to whisper lies, to distort truth, and to make you forget who you are in my sight. My child, I speak this with the seriousness of a father who sees danger approaching if you continue drifting from what is sacred. You will find yourself facing consequences your heart was never built to endure. It is not because I desire to punish you. Nothing could be further from my desire. The pain does not come from me. It comes from standing outside the protection I designed for you. Like a child who steps outside a safe home just before a storm. It is not the father who forces the child into danger. The child simply moved away from safety. And the storm, no matter how fierce, is not something the Father created. There are moments when you ask, Lord, Why does my life face so much sorrow? And I want you to know many of those times the enemy exploited the openings you didn't notice. I have always called you back, but my voice never shouts, never coerces. I am gentle, I am patient. I wait like a shepherd standing among the hills, calling each of his sheep by name. Yet there are moments when the noise of the world drowns my voice, or worse, moments when you hear me but do not want to stop. My child, I am calling you back into my covering, back into the peaceful rhythm I placed within your soul from the moment you were formed. I do not desire anything to wound you. I do not want the enemy to touch you, not even with a single thought. I want you to know that there is a battle unfolding every single day in the unseen realm, and your heart is the battleground whose worth is known by both me and the enemy. But unlike him, I do not claim you by force. I draw you by love, my beloved child. I want you to listen to a truth you often forget. Amidst the spinning of your days, the enemy of your soul is never silent. He is cunning, subtle, and calculated. He does not arrive with the roar of a wild beast, but slips in through the whisper of doubt, through a small thought you assume is harmless. He murmurs into your mind that my words are only distant echoes, that my promises to you are not truly secure, that the efforts you pour your heart into go unseen. He wants you to believe that you are fighting alone, that you have been abandoned, that the light I planted in you is flickering out. But my child, pause for a moment of stillness and open your heart. I am here, right now, not tomorrow, not when you become better or stronger, but in the very moment you feel weakest. I stand beside you as an unshakable fortress. There are days when your mind is so exhausted that even a single stray thought feels overwhelming. There are moments when life presses in so tightly that you feel there is no room left to breathe. But it is precisely in those moments that my arms stretch wide to keep you from falling. You are not as lost as you fear. You are not being swallowed by the darkness the way you imagine. You are simply walking through a landscape where the light must be perceived through the eyes of faith rather than the eyes of flesh. I know your mind is tired. I know your heart feels close to breaking at times. I know there are nights when you want to give up because you doubt you have the strength to continue. But it is in this very week, when temptation feels louder, distractions seem heavier, and anxiety tries to root itself more deeply, that I invite you to guard your heart like a watchman at the city gate, allowing no shadow to slip in. Your thoughts are sacred ground that I long to protect. Your will is fertile soil where I desire to lead you toward wise decisions, purposeful steps, and actions that reflect my light. The enemy knows this, so he seeks to scatter your attention, disturb your peace, and stir doubt over what I have planted within you. He will use the noise of life to drown out my voice. He will use daily pressures to make you believe you are unloved. He will use fear to paralyze your steps so you cannot enter the things I have prepared for you. But my child, you must not allow him to define your path, for you belong to me, and anything that belongs to me cannot be stolen by darkness. Let your heart become more alert than ever. When a negative thought slips in, do not let it take root. Bring it before me. When a fear rises, do not feed it. Allow me to dissolve it with the breath of truth. When the distractions of this life attempt to pull you away from me, look deeply within and ask yourself, does this draw me closer to the light? Or does it lead me into shadows? My child, the enemy does not need you to fall in some great and obvious way. He only needs you to veer off course by a little, and then he will lead you farther still. That is why today I remind you, guard your mind as you would guard a precious jewel. Do not allow anything to enter that has not been illuminated by my guidance. In James 4:7, it is written, submit yourselves, then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Do you see? The secret does not lie in your own strength. but in allowing me to be your refuge. When you stand under my covering, the enemy cannot touch your soul, no matter how fiercely he tries. When you take shelter in me, every scheme of darkness becomes as fragile as ashes before a mighty wind. My child, I do not blame you for your moments of weakness. I do not require you to be strong at every hour. I know there are days when you tremble, nights when confusion overwhelms you, and evenings when you cry in silence without anyone knowing. But I have seen it all. I know every tear that has fallen from your eyes. And I want you to remember this: you have never fought alone. When your mind is in turmoil, I am still whispering. When you think I am silent, I am still working. When you fall, I do not turn away. I kneel beside you and lift you up. There has not been a single moment in which I have been distant from you. And, my child, this week is not a week of defeat. It is a week for you to reaffirm the power of the faith within you. This is the week for you to learn how to guard your heart against distracting voices. This is the week for you to remain steady against thoughts born out of weariness or the anxieties of daily life. This is the week for you to recognize that the enemy may be cunning, but my power within you is 1,000 times stronger. It may lurk in the shadows, but it cannot determine your destiny. It may stir up fear, but it cannot steal the peace I have poured into your heart. Therefore, my beloved child, stand upright in the certainty that you belong to me. Walk forward in the strength I have placed within you. Release whatever weighs down your soul. Hold on to peace as your armor, and let faith be the torch that lights your path. Even if darkness tries to encircle you, it cannot extinguish the light I have ignited within your spirit. You will overcome, because I, the one who formed the heavens and the earth, am walking with you every day, every hour, every breath, my precious child. I do not wait for perfection from you, nor do I ask you to carry the burden of striving to be flawless. I do not demand that you live without mistakes, without moments of frailty, or that you walk with constant certainty as though you already understand everything. What I desire for you is not perfection, but awakening. Awakening to recognize my voice calling you amid the noise of this world. Awakening to discern truth even when it seems hidden beneath layers of confusion. Awakening to choose me, not out of fear or habit, but through a willing heart. When I say, choose me, I am not asking you to walk in forced obedience. I am inviting you to open your heart so you can see that choosing me is choosing life, choosing peace, choosing the direction your soul has longed for all along. There will be times when choosing me is not easy. At moments, it will hurt because you must let go of things you once believed were essential. Sometimes it will be uncomfortable because choosing me requires you to face your inner truth, the truth you have avoided, the fears you have hidden, the wounds you never wanted to revisit. There will be days when the world mocks, belittles, or judges you for standing firm on the path of faith I am leading you on. But my child, know this: every tear you shed for my sake is kept by me. Every sacrifice you make because of me holds a value far beyond what you can understand right now. Do not let the cold gaze of the world make you waver. Do not let the jeers of others blur the truth that I am with you day after day, heartbeat after heartbeat, breath after breath. My child, your soul is far more beautiful than you think. You often see yourself through your flaws, your failures, and the things you have not yet accomplished. But I see you differently. I see beauty in the moments when you rise again, even though the cost is a weary heart. I see perseverance in the nights when you feel you cannot go on, yet you still refuse to let go of my hand. I see the radiance within your spirit, even when tears cloud your eyes because of things you do not yet understand. I see the light I have planted in you, a light no storm can extinguish, no darkness can swallow, no despair can truly dim. My child, you are stronger than you think. Stronger than the words others have spoken about you. Stronger than the moments when you felt small and fragile. You have walked through seasons you once believed you would never survive. You have stood firm before trials that, from the outside, seemed powerful enough to break you completely. You have faced temptations capable of pulling anyone down. And yet you chose what was right even when the cost was loneliness or pain. You have stepped through shadowed valleys that felt endless. Days when you asked me for just a little hope, just a single beam of light to continue, and I saw your courage even in the trembling of your heart. None of these things in your journey were meaningless. Every tear you shed watered the seed of maturity. Every moment of weakness became the place where your character was refined. Every failure you faced became the foundation for future wisdom. Every fear you overcame became proof that you were stronger than the darkness trying to surround you. What looked like broken pieces were the very stones I used to build someone more steadfast, deeper in understanding, and richer in strength. And, my child, I want you to grasp something profound. Your journey is not finished. What you have passed through is not the ending, it is only the opening chapter. You are being prepared for things greater, sturdier, and more radiant than anything behind you. There are lessons I am still writing upon the tablet of your heart. There are doors ahead that I will lead you through when the time is ripe. I am still shaping your soul, like a patient potter turning clay on the wheel, not to repair what is broken, but to create something more beautiful, more enduring, more aligned with the purpose I ordained for you from the beginning. In Isaiah 4:3-19, it is written, "Behold, I am doing a new thing, now it shall spring forth. Do you not perceive it? This was not spoken only to the people of long ago, it is spoken to you today. I am doing a new thing within you. I am awakening the parts of you that you thought were gone. I am reviving dreams you laid aside. I am healing wounds you believed would remain forever. And I am shaping you into a version of yourself that is stronger than ever before. Do not think you have reached the limits of growth. There is still much I desire to unfold in you, deeper spiritual insight, new perspectives on your journey of faith, wisdom that can only be born through testing. There is more grace you will receive, more opportunities you will step into, more lives you will touch with your story written with tears, perseverance, and the truth that I have never left your side, my beloved child. In this coming week, I want you to walk with the deep awareness that I am right beside you, not as a distant comfort, but as a living guide who is continually at work, continually caring, continually lighting the steps that may have wavered under the weight of the unexpected. I am not standing far away watching you stumble through the dark. I am close, walking each step with you, even when you cannot feel me. I am here so your heart may open to truth, so your eyes may see clearly the things the enemy tries to obscure with subtlety and illusions dressed in appealing form. I am here to ensure that none of your steps are swallowed by darkness. As long as you remember to return to me, hold fast to me, and trust in what I speak. You think my love is merely a gentle whisper of comfort. No, my beloved, my love is not a quiet, fragile, or passive sentiment as you may have imagined. My love is a force that fights for you, a flame that scatters every shadow, a powerful waterfall pouring strength and protection over you. This love does not only soothe your wounds, it battles for you in the moments when you no longer have the strength to rise. It does not merely accompany you, it breaks the chains wrapped around your soul and pulls you away from paths you were never created to walk. When you walk through the darkest valley, when it feels as though there is no foothold left for you to cling to, it is my light that keeps you from falling. When you face a depth of loneliness so profound that no words are sufficient to describe the void within you, it is my presence that wraps around you gently, like the warmth of dawn after a long night. When the world pulls you to the left with its enticing invitations, and your hidden fears yank you to the right, it is my voice, soft yet full of authority, that calls you back to the path of life. My child, if you would listen, even for a moment, you would feel peace settling into your heart in the midst of storms that seem endless. If you would open your heart to me, you would receive strength even in the very moments when you feel drained to the core. If you would allow me to lead you, you would find clarity in seasons of your life that seem to spin wildly beyond your control. You have never been abandoned. You simply need to learn to recognize my presence in the smallest, most ordinary details around you. Do not underestimate the light I have placed within you. That light does not come from your willpower or your personal effort. It comes from me, like a flame that cannot be extinguished. Even when the winds of doubt blow fiercely enough to make you feel as though you cannot endure, do not turn away from that light. For if you do, you will be easily swept into the illusions fashioned by the darkness. These illusions may appear appealing, captivating, and logical on the surface, but within they are hollow, meaningless, and ultimately lead your soul into barrenness and exhaustion. My child, the world always knows how to create glittering things that stir your emotions for a fleeting moment. But these things do not bring life. They only make your heart crave more, pulling you deeper into cycles of lack and comparison. But my love is different. It never shifts, never runs dry, never withdraws. It is the living water that, once you drink, will free you from the thirst that once consumed you. Remember what is written in Psalm 3:6-9, "For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light." Only in that light can you truly see the way forward, perceive my intentions, and discern what genuinely belongs to you. I want you to know that throughout this week, I am not only walking beside you but also going ahead to prepare the way, staying behind to guard you, and surrounding you from every side with a love that never changes. When you hesitate, I place courage within you. When you are afraid, I cover you with peace. When you do not know what to do, I whisper wisdom into your mind so you may recognize the right path. My love is never passive. It is always moving, always renewing, always working quietly to strengthen and refine your soul until it becomes resilient, radiant, and fully alive. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you are weary because the battle feels too long. I know there are times you feel pulled by forces you cannot control. But I am here to remind you, you are not fighting alone. You are fighting with one whose power surpasses the combined strength of all darkness. You are walking under the guidance of a shield that cannot be pierced. That shield is my love for you. Believe this, my precious one. When you choose my light over the illusions of the world, you will receive things far beyond what you have ever hoped for. You will find true life in a world filled with turmoil. You will find direction among crossroads that once felt unclear. And you will find yourself the version I created, not the version shaped by fear or by the expectations of others. My beloved child, on this journey of life, keep your eyes and your heart attentive to those walking beside you. Not every smile is born from sincerity. Not every word is spoken with integrity. And not every path that seems easy is a road that leads to peace. I do not tell you this to place fear or suspicion in your heart, but so you may learn to live awake, walking with the wisdom I long to sow within your soul. For wisdom is more than knowledge. It is the ability to see beyond appearances and discern true essence. It is more precious than physical strength, and the gift of discernment is more valuable than the silver and gold the world chases. My child, the world you live in is layered with coverings and disguises. There are people who approach you with friendly eyes, yet their hearts carry intentions you cannot discern from a single encounter. There are words that sound gentle but can sow seeds of doubt. suspicion, or misdirection into your soul. And there are paths that appear bright and pleasant, yet hidden beneath them are turns that lead you away from the purpose I placed upon your life. These things are not meant to make you live in constant tension or suspicion, but to help you understand that only by walking in the wisdom that comes from me can you stand firm before all things. My child, I have placed within you a spiritual sensitivity. Not everyone has it, and not everyone knows how to recognize it. That stirring those sudden waves of uneasiness, the subtle tremors in your thoughts, or the strong but unnameable impulses, is my way of whispering to your soul. When you feel anxious even though everything outward appears fine. When your heart becomes heavy though no one has harmed you. Or when a situation seems promising but your spirit feels cautious, know that I am teaching you through those quiet signals. They are my warnings to protect you from what you cannot yet see. Yet at the same time, my child, you must know that the enemy of your soul is cunning and calculated. It can awaken in you sensations that resemble true warnings, but they are crafted to confuse you, to make you doubt the very spiritual intuition I have given you, or to pull you away from the good things I have prepared for your life. It can lure you into a harmful relationship because you believe you are being led, or push you to abandon what is right by whispering lies rooted in fear. That is why discerning between my voice and the enemy's prompting is a crucial part of your spiritual maturity. Therefore, you must choose carefully. Every step you take, every decision you make, every person you open your heart to, every word you allow to enter, bring all of it before me. I do not desire that you rely on reason alone, for reason has limits and can be swayed by transient emotions. But I also do not desire that you rely solely on feelings, for feelings shift according to circumstances. What I desire is that you learn to combine all three: a heart led by me, a mind illuminated by truth, and a soul anchored in stillness within my presence. My child, prayer is not merely spoken words, it is the breath of the soul. When you pray, you place your heart in the safest place within me. When you meditate, you allow me to reveal what human eyes cannot perceive. When you enter into stillness, you create space for my voice to rise above the countless invitations of the world. These are your weapons, ones no one can steal and no earthly force can destroy, for they are born from my very life. Proverbs 2:6 declares, "For the Lord gives wisdom, from his mouth come knowledge and understanding." My child, this is not a verse to read casually. It is a promise, a guarantee that if you seek wisdom from me, you will never walk in darkness. I will teach you to distinguish my voice from the whispers of the enemy, the invitation of life from the traps disguised so carefully to make you stumble. I long for you to keep these spiritual weapons close. As one guards a treasure pressed against their chest, pray not only when you are desperate, but also when you are at peace. Meditate not only when you are confused, but also when everything is going well. Keep stillness not only when you are seeking answers, but even in moments of joy, for these habits form the foundation that keeps your soul from ever walking without my covering. My child, I have seen you open your heart to things unworthy of you. I have seen you believe sweet words that were laced with deceit. I know there were times you were hurt because you trusted those who appeared sincere. But I have also seen your courage as you rose again, the maturity growing within you as you learned from those wounds, and the clarity forming in you as you chose to depend on me rather than on bitter experiences. My beloved child, I have witnessed every battle you have had to face, even the ones waged deep within your soul, where no one but you could feel the impact. I have seen the tears you tried to hide, falling without a sound yet heavy as stones against your heart. I have seen the nights you stayed awake, questioning what you might have done wrong for things to become so difficult. In the moments when you felt the world had turned its back, and you stood alone in pain, I was still there watching, understanding, and holding your trembling soul close to me. My child, I know the depths of despair you have buried so far within yourself that even you hesitate to acknowledge them. I know the moments when you feel you are not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. I know the times when you face your own weakness and assume that I must be disappointed in you. But, my child, listen to this with your whole heart. Never have I, nor will I ever measure your worth by your wounds or your mistakes. You are still valuable, still precious, still loved with a love that surpasses anything you can comprehend. That love does not depend on performance, perfection, or strength, and it is never shaken by any failure of yours. There is no sin so great that my hand cannot reach and heal it. There is no mistake so deep that I cannot lift you out of it. There is no failure strong enough to define you or to cause me to abandon you. The enemy wants you to believe otherwise. It wants you to believe that your old wounds make you unclean, that your past failures make you less valuable, that your moments of weakness drive me away from you. It wants you to feel so guilty that you dare not come near me. It wants you to believe you have gone too far to be loved again. But all of that is a lie. My child, the enemy desires to imprison your soul in the belief that you are forgotten. It whispers that no one understands you, that no one sees your pain, that no one truly cares about what you are going through. But I, the Lord your God, have seen everything others never knew. I have recorded every sigh you released. I understand every fear you cannot name. And I have never turned my back on you, not for a single moment. My beloved child, today I speak to you with the truth of heaven. I am here, not far away, not somewhere in the future, not only in the sacred moments when you pray. I am here in the very reality you are living amid your weariness, your anxiety, your confusion, your brokenness, your silence. I am there, and I will never forget you. You belong to me, and I do not lose what is mine. But, my child, I also want you to prepare your heart, for the week ahead will not contain only peace, it will contain challenges. There will be moments when your faith is pressed to the point where you must choose to continue believing my words or to surrender to the fears being magnified within you. There will be moments when you face resistance, whether from circumstances, from people around you, or from within your own mind. There will be tests designed to measure the courage that has been forged within you, to challenge the faithfulness you now hold, and to reveal the hidden strength I have planted in you through previous hard seasons. My child, do not be afraid. These challenges are not coming to break you. They are coming to strengthen you, to shape you into a version of yourself that is stronger, more mature, more radiant. Do not think that trials are a sign that I have left you. On the contrary, they are evidence that I am preparing you for something greater. Just as a seed must break open before it rises above the soil, your soul also needs certain pressures to burst beyond old limitations and step into new life. My child, remember the promise in Jeremiah 3:1-3, I have loved you with an everlasting love. With my unfailing kindness, I have drawn you near. That everlasting love is the cord that holds you steady when the world shakes. It is the anchor when your mind is in turmoil. It is the refreshing water when your soul feels dry. It is the answer to your whispered question. Do I still have worth? Yes. You have worth because I love you with a love that does not change. My child, this week may bring unexpected trials, hard questions, important choices, situations that force you to look deep within yourself. But do not tremble. I do not lead you into tests to abandon you there. I lead you in so that I, myself, may be revealed through your strength and endurance. When you feel pressure, let me be your breath. When you feel tired, let me be your renewed strength. When you feel doubt, let me be the unshakable foundation beneath your feet. The enemy will try to make you forget what I have spoken. It will try to convince you that I am distant or silent. But remember this, my silence is never my absence. Often, it is the very moment I am working most deeply within you, shaping you into someone you never thought you could become. Enter the new week with readiness, not fear. Carry the confidence that you are not walking into it alone. Every challenge will become an opportunity. Every resistance will become a stepping stone. Every season of waiting will become the soil where your faith grows deeper roots. I want to lead you into a place where every word you speak carries heavenly weight. For words are never mere sounds. Speech carries spirit. It has the power to seep into another's soul like rain, softening the earth. Yet it can also fracture a heart already fragile. Therefore, my child, guard your tongue as a watchman guards a precious treasury. Every word that leaves your mouth is a seed sown into the world, either awakening hope or casting shadows. Remember this, a single word can save a life, and a single word can cause someone to collapse beneath the weight of their wounds. There are moments when, out of anger or impatience, you release words that seem harmless, yet they pierce like invisible arrows into someone's heart. I know there are days when exhaustion drains your strength, when pressures press down on you so heavily that you react instinctively. But my child, I invite you to learn the sacred act of pausing for one brief second before speaking, allowing my breath of peace to settle in you. When you give me a moment, I will transform your words into light, into gentleness, into streams of cool water flowing into places that have long been dry. Even a rebuke spoken in love can bring healing, but the softest phrase, if it lacks my presence, can unintentionally shatter a tender heart. Do not underestimate the power of words. Every phrase you speak is a mirror reflecting the condition of your heart. A heart filled with anger cannot produce words of peace, just as a soul clouded by doubt cannot speak words of encouragement. That is why what I desire to teach you is not merely the control of the tongue, but the care of the inner wellspring. If the waters are pure, the stream will be pure. If your heart is filled with me, your mouth will naturally become an instrument of love. And when you speak under the leading of the Holy Spirit, your words will travel farther than you imagine, reaching places you cannot see, uplifting people you do not know I have placed along your path. There will be times when I send someone into your journey for the sole purpose of receiving one sentence from you, a single sentence, capable of opening a long closed door of hope. You cannot see the hidden battles within another soul. A word that feels small to you may be the very reason someone finds the courage to rise after failure, or the strength not to abandon life itself. Therefore, never underestimate the value of what you say. Whether it is a word of encouragement, a quiet offering of compassion, or a whispered prayer over someone, in heaven, not one expression of love that comes from your lips is forgotten. I want you to understand this. My child, your words do not only help others, they nourish your own soul. When you train your mouth to speak what is good, your mind is renewed. When you choose words of forgiveness, your heart is freed from its burdens. When you speak truth in love, you open the door for light to enter the hidden corners of your life. And when you choose silence in moments where silence is needed, you create space for me to act on your behalf. Remember the words engraved in Scripture. The tongue is a small rudder, yet it can steer a great ship. James 3:4-5. This reminds you that a single word can redirect an entire day, even alter the course of an entire life. Therefore, use your speech as one who holds the rudder alert, wise, aware of the direction you are guiding the vessel of your life toward. There will be times when you realize you have spoken something that wounded another. I do not expect perfection from you. What I hope for is your willingness to turn back, to apologize, to mend what was broken, and to let the stumble become soil that helps you grow. I do not record your missteps in order to condemn you, but to transform them into fertile ground for maturity. Be courageous in acknowledging your mistakes, for humility opens doors that a hardened heart never can. My child, never forget that your mouth was not created to scatter destruction, but to carry meaning, to impart hope, to speak on my behalf in moments when I desire to touch someone through you. I breathed my life into you, and that breath carries the capacity to build, to mend, to encourage. When you speak with a gentle heart, when you utter goodness even in moments of hardship, you mirror me. I delight when I see you using your words to restore what is broken instead of widening the fracture. To make your words powerful, you must learn to water your soul each day with my presence. Set aside moments to listen for me in the midst of distractions. Allow me to illuminate every thought before it becomes speech. Allow me to shape your attitude before it unfolds into action. For your actions are never separate from your heart. A heart filled with peace will produce gentle deeds. A soul nourished by love will know how to love even when wounded. My beloved child, this world is filled with many voices, the voices of comparison, of hurt, of provocation, of fear. Yet I am calling you to become a different kind of voice, a voice that carries the breath of heaven, a voice that soothes rather than wounds, a voice that builds rather than destroys, a voice that draws others closer to me rather than pushing them away. Pray before you speak, not because you need perfect words, but because you need the right heart. When your heart is anchored in me, your words will naturally become life. You will no longer speak from raw emotion, but from wisdom. You will no longer react out of pain, but respond with peace. You will no longer use words to defend your ego, but to protect the love I have planted within you. My child, let your words become light in a world crowded with shadows. Let them be like streams of water falling on cracked ground. Let them be a bridge connecting souls that once seemed unable to understand each other. And above all, let every word you speak bear the mark that I am living in you. When you allow me to fill your heart, you will find that your mouth begins to reflect me speaking what is right when needed, remaining silent when necessary, and always leaning toward healing. You are a lamp set upon a stand, not meant to be hidden but to shine. So let your words shine as well, lifting, restoring, and carrying my breath everywhere your feet touch. My beloved child, I want to lead you into a quiet yet life-defining journey, the journey of guarding the inner thoughts of your heart. Many people pay attention to their speech or their actions, but they neglect the place from which all these things flow, their inner world, the landscape of their thoughts. I want you to understand that every thought is like a seed. If you do not discern, select, and tend the soil of your soul, harmful seeds will grow faster than you expect, weaving themselves into your life and crowding out the good things I desire to plant. There will be days when the inside of you feels like a chaotic field. Negative thoughts, worries, envy, hurt everything, pressing in at once and draining your strength. You may think these come from your circumstances, but in truth, many of them take root because you have not yet learned to discern which voice comes from me and which whispers are the cunning schemes of the enemy. This is why I want you to learn inner vigilance. Vigilance is not tension or suspicion. It is the posture of standing guard at the door of your mind, refusing to allow anything that would pull you away from the peace I have placed within you. The enemy cannot steal what I have given you, but he can make you forget the value of it. He cannot erase the purpose I have established for your life, but he can distract you, exhaust you, and blur your focus. And one of his most common strategies is to plant decaying thoughts within you, thoughts that make you doubt yourself, doubt others, and even doubt me. He knows well that if he gains a foothold in your thoughts, he can influence your emotions. If he controls your emotions, he can push you toward wrong decisions. And once you begin making those decisions, he can slowly lead you away from the good plans I have prepared for you. Therefore, my child, guard your mind as a farmer tends his field each morning. When you notice a strange thought slipping in jealousy, anger, pride, or the whisper of doubt, do not allow it to take root. Do not let it build invisible walls that keep you from stepping into freedom. Ask yourself, where did this thought come from? Does it lead me toward the light or pull me into the shadows? Does it expand my heart or cause it to shrink? If it does not come from me, cast it out with strength and clarity. In its place, plant thoughts that lead you into life. Sow gratitude, for when you give thanks, you begin to see my hand everywhere. Sow patience, for patience anchors you firmly in seasons of testing. Sow humility, for humility draws you closer to me than anything else. When you learn to bow low, I will raise you up. When you recognize how deeply you need me, I will fill you with strength that surpasses your own. Scripture says in Psalm 139:2-3, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. Test me, and see if there is any wicked way in me." This is not merely a plea, it is an invitation for me to enter the deepest places within you, illuminating the corners you yourself cannot see. When you allow me to visit your mind, you will be surprised by how the smallest of things can shape the health of your spiritual life. My child, each day carries moments when the enemy tries to ignite anger within you. He knows that anger clouds your vision, pushing you to react from impulse rather than from my guidance. But learn to pause. A single slow breath, a simple whispered prayer, is enough to break the spiral. Do not rush to react. Do not let hot words slip out and become wounds that cannot easily be healed. Let me step into the storm inside you, for I am always greater than any tempest. And when impatience begins to unsettle you, when time seems too slow, when you feel as though you are falling behind, remember that I am never late concerning what I have prepared for you. Impatience does not bring blessings sooner. It only wears down your heart and blurs your direction. Breathe deeply and remind yourself that I am working even in the places you cannot yet see. Some seeds take time to break through the soil, and waiting is a vital part of becoming mature. And when pride rises, when you feel you have enough, know enough, need no one, need no counsel, that is the very moment you must return to me most. Pride is a soft but dangerous whisper, for it convinces you that you stand firm when in truth you are near the edge of stumbling. I long for your heart to remain tender, teachable, and willing to be shaped by my hand. True wisdom does not come from your accumulated experience, but from humbly sitting before me day after day. My beloved child, true strength is not the absence of weakness, but the awareness that you need me in every breath. When you lean on me, my strength becomes your strength. When you seek me, heavenly wisdom flows into your thoughts like a clear and gentle stream. When you humble yourself, I will lift you up at the appointed time. And when you allow me to align every thought, the entire direction of your life will begin to shift. Let your mind become a dwelling place for me, not an echo chamber of the world's noise. Let your heart become light, clear, and steady, unpulled by the subtle temptations of the enemy. Let your thoughts be watered by truth, nourished by love, and fortified by peace that surpasses all understanding. And my child, whenever your mind feels chaotic, do not try to fight alone. You need only call for me, I will come. You need only place your tangled thoughts into my hands, I will renew them. You need only open your heart, I will do the rest. My beloved child, I desire to lead you into a depth few dare to touch the depth of loving as I love. Not the kind of love measured by reciprocation, nor the kind that blossoms only when others behave well or seem deserving. I am speaking of a love that transcends the standards of this world, a love without conditions, without borders, without scorekeeping. Such love is not born from human justice, but from my endless mercy. And I long for you, my child, to step into that flow. For when you love without expecting anything in return, you are the first to become free. When you give without calculating, you break the chains of ego that crave praise. When you forgive without waiting for an apology, your soul is released from the shackles of the past. Forgiveness does not weaken you, on the contrary. It transforms your heart into fertile soil where healing can take root. And when you serve quietly, without seeking recognition, you become a lamp shining in a wandering world, radiating peace and gentleness that I myself have placed within you. Do you know why I ask you to love first, even when others seem undeserving? Because in this world, worthiness was never the standard by which I chose to love you. I loved you before you understood anything about me. I chose you before you learned to choose what is right. I held you close even in the days when your heart wandered far from mine. And so, when you love others, though they do not return it, you are walking more closely in my footsteps than ever before. My child, listen closely, for what I am about to tell you is vitally important to your spiritual journey. The enemy never rests. The closer you draw to me, the more fiercely he opposes you. When you choose love, he plants seeds of hatred. When you desire to forgive, he stirs up old wounds. When you strive to persevere, he whispers that giving up would be easier. His schemes never cease, they merely change form, wearing new disguises so they appear righteous. But my child, I have not left you alone in this battle. I have placed in your hands weapons that do not come from this world, powerful weapons capable of shattering every strategy of the evil one. These weapons are not made of steel, not forged through violence, not sustained by human strength, but empowered by the authority of heaven itself. They are faith, prayer, steadfastness, and the purity of a sincere heart. And above all, they are my word. My word, the scriptures, is the sharp sword you wield to cut through deception. It is also the shield that guards you against the hidden arrows of doubt, fear, and discouragement. It is not merely the story of a bygone era or a collection of ancient records. Scripture is my breath. It is the letter I have written to you to guide your footsteps through every season of life. As Psalm 119:105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." This verse does not only speak of an external path, it speaks of the inner landscape of your heart, a place that can easily fall into darkness if not illuminated by my light. When you take up my word, you are holding in your hands the map of heaven. Every verse, every promise was crafted to protect you from the subtle nets of the enemy traps that you cannot always perceive with your physical eyes. Sometimes they come disguised as gentle words spoken by someone you trust, sometimes as a fleeting emotion, sometimes as a small temptation you think will make no difference at all. But in the spiritual realm, nothing is small. Everything holds the power to shape your heart. My child, you must be watchful. The enemy is cunning. He never approaches with a frightening appearance. He comes as a reasonable thought, a piece of advice that sounds right, an emotion that feels natural. He takes what is crooked and makes it seem ordinary. He takes what is false and makes it sound true. But when my word saturates your spirit, you gain the ability to discern. You will know what comes from the light and what comes from the shadows. even when they appear nearly identical on the surface. Therefore, my child, draw near to my word every day. Do not read it merely as literature. Let it step inside you. Let it become the stream that waters the dry places of your soul. Let it expose the areas where you are weak. And above all, let my word shape the way you love, the way you forgive, the way you serve, and the way you stand firm in the battles of this life. When you love without condition, you are living by the principles of heaven, not the principles of the world. When you forgive, you break the chains the enemy tries to wrap around your soul. When you serve from a posture of humility, you become a warrior of light, unseen yet full of power. And when you hold my word, when you allow it to become the rhythm of your heart, no snare can bring you down. No lie can lure you away from me. You will stand in the midst of the world's darkness without being consumed by it. You will love where others cannot love. You will forgive where others only seek revenge. You will remain steadfast where others collapse in weariness. My beloved child, I have not called you to live an ordinary life. I have called you to be a witness of my love in this world. You cannot fulfill this calling unless you love as I love. Fight as I fight, and equip yourself with my word as I have instructed you. My beloved child, hear me clearly, for this truth concerns your strength, your freedom, and your very future in the spiritual realm. The enemy never attacks you with anything obviously suspicious. He does not enter with frightening signs that alarm you. He slips in like the faintest breeze, a fleeting feeling, a small joy that points you in the wrong direction, a tiny compromise you tell yourself is no big deal. Yet it is those very things, those seemingly insignificant openings, that allow darkness to slip in and gain a foothold in your life. Imagine, my child, a door that is neither broken down nor violently forced open. It is simply left with the smallest crack. Yet a single crack is enough for darkness to slip through. The enemy knows well that even the smallest fracture within your heart, if left unrecognized and unsealed, can become a wide-open doorway that leads you away from me without you even noticing. He does not need you to collapse all at once. He only needs you to drift, little by little. A hidden thought, a desire you refuse to reject, a glance held 1 second too long, an action your conscience quietly warns you about but you choose to ignore. Each of these can sink like an anchor into your soul, pulling you away from the freedom I have prepared for you. And when these small compromises repeat themselves, they form habits. Habits shape patterns of thought. Patterns of thought develop into character, and character shapes the course of a life. That is why I want you to stay awake not in fear, but in holy clarity. I urge you not to treat things that seem harmless as though they carry no weight. Because in the spiritual realm, nothing is ever harmless. Everything either nourishes life or feeds darkness. Every choice draws you closer to me or pulls you further away. The enemy is clever. My child, he does not demand that you shatter every boundary at once. He only asks you to loosen one small line. He does not tell you to abandon your faith. He merely persuades you to take prayer lightly. He does not push you to doubt me immediately. He simply fills your days so fully that you no longer have time to listen for my voice. He does not command you to live in sin. He only convinces you that everyone fails. So it is not a serious matter. Yet each degree of deviation, if left uncorrected, can lead you to a place entirely different after enough time has passed. My child, I did not create you to be a slave to temporary desires. I did not form your soul to bend beneath the weight of sin. I created you for freedom. I call you to walk in the path of light, where my love covers you, where holiness is not a burden but a breath of fresh air for your spirit. Holiness is not rigid perfection. It is the journey of walking with me step by step, thought by thought, action by action, Scripture says in 1 Peter 5:8, "Be alert and sober-minded. For your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." That verse is not meant to frighten you, but to remind you that alertness is armor. It is protection, a barrier that keeps the enemy from touching what I have entrusted to you. Do not forget, my beloved child, that the greatest battle is not found in external events, but within the quiet conversations happening inside your mind. Every time you allow a misguided emotion to dwell, it begins to bind you. Every time you accept a thought that does not come from me, it begins to steer you. And each time you compromise with sin, even slightly, you grant the enemy a place in your life, a place he will never willingly surrender. But, my child, I do not speak these things to make you heavy-hearted or self-condemned. I tell you so you may realize that you have the power to choose the light. You are not a victim. You are not helpless before temptation. You are not chained to what I have already freed you from. I have placed within you the ability to say no. I have placed within you the strength to rise again. I have given you my Spirit, who constantly reminds, guides, and reveals to you the path that leads to life. What I desire from you is not a struggle fought by your own strength, but a step closer to me. Strength does not come from trying harder to do what is right. Strength comes from allowing me to fill you. When your heart is saturated with light, darkness has no place to hide. When your mind is renewed day by day, temptation loses its appeal. When you live aware that I am beside you, the enemy cannot persuade you that you are alone. Look at your own life. My child, every time you surrender to me, you feel lighter. Every time you confess, you find freedom. Every time you return to me after a season of wandering, you rediscover the peace nothing on this earth can offer. This is proof that you were never meant to be ruled by sin. You were created to reflect my image, the image of light, of love, of purity. My child, when I call you into holiness, it is not to burden you with rules or to bind you with pressure, but to lead you into true freedom. I know your weaknesses. I know how easily your heart can be pulled away. I know there are moments when weariness washes over you and surrender feels easier than perseverance. Yet I also know the potential within you, potential you have never fully recognized. I know you can rise stronger than any fall you have experienced. I know you can choose light even when darkness presses in from every side. I know this because I dwell within you. So, my child, never underestimate the small choices you make each day. Every thought you accept, every emotion you allow to grow, every action you permit, all of them guide you toward one of two directions: freedom or bondage, holiness or defilement, light or shadow. Let me close the doors that do not belong to me, and let me open before you a new path, the path of strength, of freedom, and of a heart no longer governed by sin. My beloved child, because I know the trials that await you, I do not send you into them with empty hands or a trembling heart. I want you to carry with you a deep awareness that you never face any challenge by your own strength. My strength, not yours, will be the power sustaining your soul in the moments when you feel most tempted to give up. I do not require perfection from you in these tests. I only desire that you remain in my presence, so that I may accomplish the part you cannot. My child, the challenges of this week are not accidental. They are not meant to break you, but to unveil parts of yourself you have never seen before. These are lessons that will sharpen your faith, clarify your discernment, and steady your heart. They come to prove that what I have planted in you cannot be easily stolen. They come to reveal that true strength is not forged in peaceful days, but in the moments you are refined by fire. Remember, this fire does not destroy gold, it purifies it. Likewise, the pressures you face this week are permitted to appear, so they may cleanse your soul. Strip away what does not belong to you. and illuminate the things I have long prepared, things that can only be revealed through testing. My child, when you feel opposition surrounding you through circumstances, through relationships, or even through the turmoil in your mind, do not quickly assume you have gone the wrong way. Sometimes opposition appears not because you are lost, but because you are drawing closer to what I desire to give you. The enemy does not fight hardest when your soul is asleep. He fights hardest when you stand at the threshold of a new season, a new breakthrough. If you find yourself under heavier attack, it is not because you are weakening, it is because you are nearing the moment when I will open the door before you. But, my child, do not be afraid. Do not let the roar of the enemy drown out my voice, gentle, yet filled with unmistakable authority. I permit no trial to come without setting its boundaries. I allow no battle to rise without providing the strength to overcome it. I see every breath you take, every beat of your heart, and I am supplying you with strength even before you ask. My child, in the days ahead, there will be moments when your faith feels stretched like a tight string. Questions may come in waves. Are you sure? Is it worth continuing? What if nothing changes? Yet in those very moments, I invite you to look back at the history between you and me, the times I rescued you, lifted you, healed you, and set your feet on solid ground when you thought everything was lost. I do not change. If I have done it once, I will do it again, and I will keep doing it until my promises are complete in your life. My beloved child, when your heart trembles, come into the secret place with me. Close the door, silence every other voice, and let your soul regain its rhythm in my presence. It is in that stillness that I remind you, you are not fighting to earn love. You fight because you are already loved. You are not striving to be chosen. You hold on to faith because you were chosen long before the foundations of the earth were formed. And, my child, I want you to understand these trials are not merely meant to expose your weaknesses. They are meant to reveal strengths you never knew you possessed. There is a hidden endurance within you that only hardship can awaken. There are layers of courage inside you that rise only under pressure. There are gifts I have placed in you that shine brightest in the dark. Remember my words in 2 Corinthians 1:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. You see, my child, you do not need to be strong for me to use you. You only need to be willing. You do not have to be unscarred for me to love you. I embrace even your wounds. You do not need to appear unshakable. I want your honesty. For it is within your honesty that my work is made complete. This week, when you feel as though your soul is being swept by fierce winds, I want you to stand firm in the truth that no storm is ever stronger than the one who holds you. When negative voices attempt to shake you, remember this: the strongest voice in your life must be my word, not the noise of the world. And when you feel pain because of opposition, remember that opposition does not come to destroy you, but to reveal that your life is built upon a solid rock. My child, I prepare you for trials not to make you afraid, but to make you ready. I prepare you so that you may understand that every battle you face is evidence that you carry something of worth, something the darkness wants to steal, but cannot. I prepare you so you will know that you are not merely surviving, you are overcoming. So you will know that you are not merely enduring, you are destined to prevail. My beloved child, as you move into the days ahead, I want you to engrave a vital truth upon your heart. Trials are not a sign of abandonment. My silence is not a sign of distance. Many times throughout your life, you have mistaken the two and assumed I was no longer there. But my silence is often the moment before something extraordinary unfolds. It is when I am shifting things you cannot see, arranging every detail so that my plan may be revealed at the appointed time. I cannot allow noise to distract you while I am building within you a deeper foundation of faith. My child, Do not fear the days when you cannot hear me clearly. Do not be afraid of the moments when you feel suspended in emptiness. Do not be troubled when your prayers seem unanswered. I am at work in the quiet, in the hidden places, in the spaces you cannot see, and in the details you often overlook. Not every miracle I perform thunders like a storm. Many begin with gentle movements, like a whisper of breath. The enemy wants you to confuse silence with absence. But remember, I have never left the battlefield of your life, not even for a second. My child, throughout this week there will be moments when you feel as though you are walking on unfamiliar ground. You will face difficult decisions and confront questions you once avoided. But do not worry, I have gone ahead of you. I have illuminated the places where your feet will step, and I have prepared strength sufficient for each day. You will not walk alone. If a door closes, it is because I locked it to protect you. If something you hoped for does not happen, it is because something better is waiting just beyond your sight. My child, the challenges you are about to encounter do not come merely to measure your strength, but to reveal mine through you. When you feel weak, I will be your new strength. When you tremble, I will be your unshakable rock. When you are attacked by doubt or fear, I will be the whisper reminding you that you belong to me and nothing can separate you from my love. That is why I want you to enter this week, not with a trembling heart but with courage built on my assurance. There will be people who do not understand you. There will be words spoken unfairly. There will be forms of resistance you cannot explain. But these things do not come to break you. They come so I may teach you what to hold on to and what to release. You must understand that people will not always see your true worth. But I do. People will not always understand your heart. But I understand. People may judge you by appearances. But I look straight into the depths of your soul. Let me be your refuge when you are misunderstood, your strength when you feel weak, your light when darkness tries to obscure your path. If you lean on me, you will stand firm against every accusation, every suspicious glance, and every trial the enemy attempts to use to lead you astray. My dear child, in the days ahead, you will learn that faith is not merely a beautiful feeling reserved for peaceful moments. Faith is a choice you make, even when the path before you is unclear. Faith is the decision to keep walking when everything inside you wants to stop. Faith is the whisper, I trust you, even as tears continue to fall. Faith is what carries you through the days when your soul feels the most empty and exhausted. And my child, I want you to know that none of your trials are wasted. I do not let any of your pain become meaningless. I do not allow a single tear to fall without my notice. I turn disappointment into wisdom. I turn wounds into compassion. I turn burdens into strength. I turn seasons of darkness into the very ground where hope is planted. Everything you have walked through will become precious if you place it in my hands. You may feel pressure this week. You may feel weary because of things you cannot control. But remember this, I do not lead you into pressure to crush you. I lead you into it to lift you, to bring you into a new level of spiritual maturity. It is within that pressure that my voice becomes clearer, my light shines brighter, and my love surrounds you more powerfully. I am giving you the opportunity to see just how strong you truly are when you place your full trust in me. Let your heart hold tightly to the words of Psalm 9:14, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. Do you see? My child, I do not simply protect you with promises, I cover you with my very presence. You do not have to go searching for a hiding place. I, myself, am that refuge. My beloved child, stand firm. You are about to step into a week where challenges will not weaken you but will make you stronger. A week where the enemy wants you to retreat, yet I will cause you to advance. A week where pressure comes to test your heart, but your heart will blaze like fire as you cling to me. A week where you will not merely survive, you will overcome. And as you move deeper into this week, I want you to understand another truth, one that many do not recognize until they are already worn out. Not every battle you face comes from the outside. Some of the greatest battles arise from within your own heart. And I want to teach you how to discern the difference, so you do not waste your strength fighting the wrong things or overlook the things that truly need your attention. There will be days when the enemy does not need to stir storms around you. He only needs to blow gently on an unhealed wound, an unresolved memory, or a lingering doubt. He knows that an old word, an old hurt, a memory you thought had faded, can be enough to shake your heart. But, my child, I do not merely see those wounds, I desire to heal them. I do not only notice the dark corners within you, I long to shine my light into them. I do not simply recognize the things you hide, I want to transform them into places where strength is born. Do not fear the parts of yourself that you have not fully understood. Do not run from emotions you think might disappoint me. I am not intimidated by your fears, your inner conflicts, or your weaknesses. I want you to bring them to me, because only when you face them with me can they be transformed. The enemy wants you to hide your pain, for he knows that what remains hidden becomes a chain. But I invite you to bring it into the light, for what is brought into the light becomes free. There will be moments this week when it feels like two parts within you are at war, one part wanting to believe, the other doubting, one part wanting to keep going, the other wanting to stop, one part fighting forward, the other wanting to give up. But my child, you do not battle alone. When you are weary from the conflict within, I will be the voice of peace. When your thoughts spiral, I will be the anchor that steadies you. When your heart trembles because too much is happening at once, I will be the breath that keeps you standing. My child, there is a truth I want you to hold tightly. The enemy fears you not when you are perfect, but when you depend on me. He does not tremble when you are strong according to the standards of the world, but he shudders when you are weak, yet still come to me, because he knows my strength is made perfect in your weakness. That is why, in this coming week, he will try to discourage you, to make you feel inadequate, not strong enough, not holy enough to draw near me. But that is nothing more than an old trap wrapped in a new disguise. Remember what I declared in Isaiah 4:110, do not fear, for I am with you, do not be dismayed, for I am your God, I will strengthen you, help you, and uphold you with my righteous right hand. My child, my hand never trembles, my support never fails, my love never runs dry, my presence is never distant. When you fall, I will lift you. When you are weak, I will strengthen you. When you grow weary, I will comfort you. When you lose your way, I will call your name and bring you back. My beloved child, prepare your heart for what I am about to say. Some of the challenges you face this week will not come to take anything from you, but to reveal parts of yourself you have not yet seen. You will be surprised by the patience you thought you lacked. You will be surprised by the courage you never knew you possessed. You will be surprised by the resilience I have quietly built within you through every tear, every silent prayer, and every sleepless night when all you could whisper was, Lord, please help me. I am shaping your soul into steady ground where trials cannot shake you, where the enemy cannot sow fear, and where my voice will rise clearer than ever before. My child, this week, I will lead you into moments where you must choose, surrender to fear or trust in my word, yield to exhaustion or press on in faith, listen to the noise of the world or seek the stillness where my voice can be heard. These choices will not always be easy, but they will lead you into powerful breakthroughs if you choose me. You may not see the change immediately, but remember, a tree does not grow in one night, yet its roots are nourished day by day. The deeper the roots, the stronger the tree. And I am sending your roots deep, deep into truth, deep into faith, deep into my unshakable love. Do not be surprised if you sense your heart stretching this week, a widening that comes from my calling. I am inviting you into new maturity. I am inviting you to release what no longer belongs to your journey. I am inviting you to lay down burdens you have carried for too long. I am inviting you to trust me in ways you have never trusted before. For what I am preparing for you goes far beyond what you can see, far beyond what you have prayed for, far beyond what you think you are capable of receiving. You only need to hold my hand. Keep your heart tender. Listen to my voice above your fears, and trust that this week is not designed to break you, but to lift you. I am here, my child. I am not hurried. I am not distant. I am standing beside you, watching over you with a love unmatched by anything in this world. And I will continue leading you until you step fully into all that I ordained for your life from the very beginning. My beloved child, there is something else I want you to understand deeply this week. Not every battle you face is meant to defeat you. Many battles come to shape you. There are seasons you must walk through that may look like collapse from the outside, but in truth, they are reconstruction. There are moments when you feel like you are losing, when in reality, you are being opened to receive something new. Do not let what your eyes see deceive you. I am working in the deepest layers of your soul. My child, I know you have often asked, why me? Why must I walk through things so difficult? You feel tired from being strong for too long. You feel drained from standing firm in the face of temptation, anxiety, and unrest. But my child, it is in those very questions that I am planting within you a kind of strength no one can steal. Strength does not come from calm seasons, but from steadfastness in the storm. Strength does not come from praise, but from each moment you rise again after stumbling. My child, you are not as weak as you think. It is precisely because your soul carries such great value that the enemy strikes you so fiercely. He knows that you are chosen by me to step into greater things, so he tries in every way to exhaust you, discourage you, and make you doubt yourself. But the outcome he desires will never come to pass, because I am strengthening you from within. He sees only the surface of the battle. I see the final result. He sees only what you are facing right now. I see who you will become once you rise beyond it. My beloved child, there are things I am preparing for you, and these trials are the furnace that shapes you so you can carry what I am about to give. You cannot bring fragile wings into a grand journey. You cannot bring a shaky foundation into the future I am opening before you. That is why trials are not punishments, trials are training. And I am standing beside you in every single moment of this process. There will be days this week when your heart feels uneasy, and you do not even know why. These are the moments I invite you to pause. Place your hand over your chest, and remember that your breath rests in my hands. You are not abandoned. You are being led into a deeper level of spiritual sensitivity. When you sense that inner restlessness, do not rush to assume something bad is coming. See it instead as the bell I ring to call you to my side, to remind you that there are things you must pray for, things you must release, things you must listen for as I speak to you. My child, these small tremors in your spirit are not random. They are the connection between your soul and mine. Many times you call it intuition, but in truth, it is the Holy Spirit whispering. That voice is so gentle that only those who learn to listen can discern it. And I am teaching you to distinguish which voice is mine and which voice is the murmur of darkness. This week, that distinction will become clearer than ever. My child, do not fear when you feel the spiritual attacks intensify. It does not mean you are becoming weaker. It means you are drawing close to a significant turning point. The enemy always strikes the hardest when he senses that you are about to enter the territory I have prepared for you. He wants to drain you before you reach the threshold. But what he underestimates is what I know well within you is a strength he can never touch. It is the strength that comes from belonging to me. When opposition rises, remember that I do not retreat. When storms approach, I do not step off the boat. When you feel yourself trembling, I do not lose control. On the contrary, those are the very moments when I draw nearest to fight the battles you cannot fight on your own. Never forget that I am not only the one who sees, I am the one who intervenes. I am not only the one who hears, I am the one who responds. I am not only the one who comforts, I am the one who restores. I am not only the one who protects, I am the one who triumphs. My child, in the days ahead, you may feel a strong stirring in your spirit. Do not avoid it. It is a sign that I am calling you to rise to a higher place. I am stretching the spiritual space within you. I am inviting you beyond old limits, old thoughts, and old wounds. I am preparing you for what you were once too fragile to receive. This week, you will come to understand that weakness is not the enemy. It is the doorway into true strength. You will see that fragility is not a sign of failure. It is the place where I appear most clearly. You will understand that faith is not confidence in yourself, but complete trust in me even when you see no path, even when you do not understand, even when you feel nothing at all. And, my beloved child, you will learn something even deeper. I have never been confused. I have never lost direction. I have never been anxious about what you are facing, for I have already seen the final outcome. I know you will overcome. I know that everything you are going through is not meant to destroy you, but to shape you. I know you will grow. You will strengthen, and you will be more complete than before. My beloved child, I want you to understand that your spiritual life cannot be separated from the breath of prayer. Prayer is not merely an action you perform in the morning or before falling asleep. It is the steady heartbeat that nourishes your soul, the pathway that allows you to touch my presence in every moment. Do not think of prayer as a formula or a rigid ritual you must complete each day. Instead, prayer is the space where your heart opens before me, simple, sincere, without any moral embellishment. It is the place where you are free to be your truest self, weak if you are weak, strong if you are strong, tangled if you are tangled. I receive everything you bring, because prayer is the bridge that binds you to the eternal source of life, that is me. There are days when your mind drifts far from me without you even realizing it. When you are swept into whirlwinds of worry, when fear steals the peace within you, or when you feel worn out from trying to do what is right but do not have the strength, that is the moment I call you back through prayer. Do not wait until everything collapses before you seek me. Do not wait until you are exhausted before remembering that you have a refuge. See prayer as a compass that aligns your direction, as a stream of cool water flowing through a soul cracked by trials. Each time you whisper my name, even with the smallest thought, I am already there. Miche 7:7 says, "But as for me, I will look to the Lord, I will wait for the God of my salvation." That word was not spoken only for a distant generation. It echoes in your life today, reminding you that prayer is an act of hope, of trust, of surrendering into my arms. Temptation will come to you in many forms, sometimes as light as a passing thought, sometimes as forceful as a storm trying to overturn everything you have built. In those moments, do not fight alone. You were never created to battle everything on your own. My child, when you feel weak, take hold of the cord of prayer the way a drowning person grasps a lifeline in the deep sea. Do not allow your pride to whisper, "I can overcome this myself," because the strongest temptations often strike the very place where you are most confident. Prayer pulls you out of the maze of chaotic thoughts and brings you back to where the light can make everything clear. It not only helps you stand firm against temptation, it helps you see through it. To understand the lesson I am inviting you to learn in that very moment. People often think prayer is just words, but in truth, it is the wondrous power that connects your soul to heaven. When you pray, even in your weakest moments, I see a heart longing for what is good. I do not only listen to your spoken words, I hear your sighs, your unspoken anxieties, even the things you do not dare to admit to yourself. I know what you need before you call. Yet I still want you to call. Because prayer is not for me to learn more about you, it is for you to learn more about me. Through prayer, you come to understand that strength does not come from human willpower, but from the grace that flows from my hand. My child, see prayer as a fortified wall surrounding your soul. When you maintain a life of prayer, darkness cannot penetrate you easily. Darkness always looks for cracks through weariness, sorrow, comparison, feelings of inadequacy or guilt. But when you live in the atmosphere of prayer, your mind is kept in clarity, your heart is guarded in peace, and every scheme of darkness loses its power. Prayer does not prevent trials from coming into your life, but it makes you unshakable in the midst of them. You may bend, but you will not break. You may be wounded, but you will not be defeated. Never believe that I listen only when you pray with grandeur. Even a frail breath, a small whisper saying, "Lord, help me," is enough to move heaven. You do not need eloquent phrases or displays of holiness. You only need honesty. When you return to me with sincerity, I hear instantly. When disappointment leaves you speechless and all you can offer is silence, your prayer still reaches me. When you have nothing to give but tears, I understand the full meaning of each one. Prayer is also the place where I pour new strength into you. When life has drained you dry, when your heart feels like a taut string about to snap, when you have no energy left to stand, come to me. Lay your head upon my shoulder in prayer, and you will witness a strange, tender restoration unfolding within you. Prayer does more than refill your spirit. It illuminates the path ahead. It gives you the courage to say no to what is wrong and the clarity to choose what is right. It gives you new eyes to see your circumstances, to discover hope in someone you once believed would never change, and to recognize that you yourself can still grow into a better version of who you are each day. My child, I say this with all my love. Do not pray only when you are struggling. Pray when you are at peace, when joy overflows, when life seems to be moving smoothly. For prayer in times of peace is how you build the strength that helps you stand firm in the storm. Those who pray only in times of trouble are like people who begin building a house when the storm has already arrived. Everything is too late and too chaotic. But if you make prayer your habit, your breath, a natural part of your day, you are building a fortress no storm can tear down. I am always listening to you, not just sometimes. Not only when you are worthy, but always. And I answer according to what is best for your soul, not according to what you think is best for yourself. Many times you assume that my silence means inaction, when in truth I am moving in ways you do not yet understand. Many times you want a door to open immediately, but I close it to protect you from what you are not yet ready to face. Trust that in every prayer, whether spoken aloud or whispered only in your thoughts, I respond with a love that never changes. Therefore, my child, pray without ceasing. Let prayer become the rhythm of your soul, the staff that helps you walk through the valley of shadows, the light that guides you when the road grows dim. When you maintain a life of prayer, you are keeping yourself within my embrace. And in that embrace, you never need to fear anything. My beloved child, I want you to understand that your heart is not merely a place where emotions and memories are stored. It is the very center of who you are, the gateway into the deepest essence of your being. From that heart, Thoughts are formed, decisions are shaped, and the course of your life is chosen. This is why guarding your heart is not a gentle suggestion, it is a vital command for spiritual life. Like a watchman guarding a precious treasure, you must be alert, careful, and steadfast. Proverbs 4:2-3 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." This is not an ancient proverb to be admired from afar. It is a compass for your spiritual journey today, reminding you that every step, every choice, every victory or defeat finds its beginning in what you allow to take root in your heart. A heart filled with me becomes an unshakable fortress that no force can penetrate. When your heart is saturated with my presence, peace and truth build strong walls around your soul. You will find that even when storms strike, even when trials feel heavier than you can bear, you remain standing like an ancient tree, deeply rooted in rich soil. But, my child, a divided heart, one pulled between good and evil, between my will and the cravings of the flesh, quickly becomes a fierce battlefield. The enemy constantly searches for moments to sow seeds of doubt, laziness, pride, or discontent into your heart. And when these seeds are nurtured, they grow into barriers that push you further away from me. Stay awake in guarding your heart. What damages your soul often does not arrive through great catastrophes, but through the small things you allow to linger. A single negative thought, a small compromise, or an action that seems harmless can all become an open door for darkness to slip in. Therefore, look within yourself each day. Learn to recognize when your heart begins to grow weary, when unseen disturbances are shaking your foundations. Spiritual defense is not a reaction to what has already happened. It is preparation for what will surely come. You keep your lamp burning not because night has fallen, but because you know night will come. My child, keep yourself far from laziness, for an idle heart becomes fertile soil for temptation. A soul that is not directed toward what is good becomes an open doorway for other forces to enter. The one who becomes lazy thinks they are resting, but in truth, they are losing their spiritual resistance. When you let yourself slide, when you delay what is right, when you allow harmful habits to settle in, your heart drifts away from me long before you realize it. Remember that darkness does not need to overthrow you with a fierce attack. It only needs you to stop staying awake, to stop seeking me, to stop nurturing your relationship with me. So what must you do to keep your heart from being shaken? Fill your heart with what is good, not through forced effort, but through genuine connection with me. Let worship become the stream that refreshes your soul. When you worship, your heart is lifted above earthly worries and set into the radiance of my glory. Learn my word daily, not as if reading a book, but as if listening to the breath of the one who loves you. My word will illuminate the hidden corners of your heart, heal old wounds, and place within you the wisdom needed to face each challenge. Prayer is also the key that guards the heart. Prayer is not only for asking what you need, but for keeping your heart bound closely to mine. When you pray, invisible walls of peace rise around your soul, making you less vulnerable to temptation and deception. Through prayer, you receive renewed strength, courage to stand firm, and clarity to discern what is right from what is wrong. My child, serve others as well, for service frees the heart from selfishness and opens it to a wider vision of my love. When you bend down to wash another's feet through kindness, humility, and compassion, your heart becomes more like mine. Service does not make you smaller, it makes you deeper, stronger, and more protected from the temptations of pride and self-importance. When every thought, every word, and every action in your life takes root in me, you will witness a remarkable transformation. The things that once caused you to stumble will lose their appeal. The temptations that once felt heavy will become small. The habits that once bound you will gradually break. You will see that your victory does not come from your own strength, but from the transformation within your heart when I dwell there. When your heart is placed in the right position in my hands, everything else in your life will fall into proper order. My child, ask yourself every day, what fills my heart today? For you cannot hide your heart from me, nor can you live differently from what you cultivate within. If you sow bitterness, you will reap loneliness. If you sow greed, you will reap restlessness. But if you sow love, you will reap peace. If you sow faith, you will reap stability. And if you sow hope, you will reap a joy that no one can take away from you. My child, guard your heart as one guards a sacred flame. Do not let the winds of life extinguish it. Do not let the storms of trial cool it. Do not let temptation bend its direction. Let your heart remain ever burning in my presence, in my love, and in my truth. When you do this, you will not only overcome temptation, you will become a light for those wandering in the darkness, searching for a way back home. My beloved child, I want you to learn to lift your eyes above the fleeting things that pass before you. Earthly life carries with it countless sights that shimmer, allure, and dazzle for a moment, yet fade in the blink of an eye. Sudden pleasures, impulsive desires of the flesh, the subtle pull of self-indulgence, the sweet invitations of wealth, all of these promise satisfaction, yet leave behind nothing but emptiness. Like a passing breeze sweeping across a field at dusk, I do not want your heart to become soil where such things sow desolation. I desire that you learn to live with your gaze fixed on eternity, where every value is measured by my light rather than the vain evaluations of the world. My child, train your eyes to become familiar with the eternal, so that even while walking among temporary things, your heart remains anchored in what does not change. Colossians 3:2 says, "Set your minds on things above, not on earthly things." This is not a command for you to abandon the world, but a reminder that you are called to live in it without being consumed by it. My child, the desires of the flesh are always looking for a way to bind you to what appears to give instant pleasure. They whisper that if you bow just once, if you reach out just a little, if you compromise ever so slightly, joy will come to you. But what they hide is the aftermath, the bitterness that follows, the quiet torment that clings to the soul, the loss that grows silently where no one else can see. What the flesh promises is only the shadow of joy, not joy itself. It leaves a greater hollow in your heart than before, like salty water that only deepens thirst the more you drink. When your mind is steeped in fleeting indulgence, the things I long to plant in you, peace, new life, clarity, struggle to take root. Remember, you were not created to chase temporary pleasures. You were created to carry the eternal life that flows from me. The pride of life works in the same way. My child, it wraps itself in garments that appear beautiful: success, recognition, applause. It makes you believe you must be admired to feel valuable, that you must rise above others to feel complete. Yet pride quietly bores into the soul, turning your heart into a barren and isolated place. It causes you to view others through the lens of rivalry rather than love. It makes you fear losing your position more than losing the purity of your heart. And when pride settles in, humility, the very thing that leads you into my grace, has no room left to bloom. My child, do not let the shadow of arrogance hinder you from seeing the beauty of gentleness. The things you cling to for the sake of praise will eventually fade, but a humble heart will always be upheld by me, like a precious seed resting in the hands of a careful gardener. The enchantment of riches is one of the most subtle nets the world casts around your steps, not because wealth itself is evil, for I am the one who blesses, but because an obsession with it steals away the freedom of your spirit. When your trust is placed in money, you tremble when money trembles. When your hope depends on possessions, your heart shatters when possessions slip away. Then you will realize that what you mistook for a foundation was nothing more than sand beneath your feet. My child, I want you to live with gratitude, with open hands, and with the wisdom to steward what you are given, not with a heart enslaved by the lure of wealth. Riches promise security, but only I am your true and unshakable peace. My child, learn to look beyond what is earthly, so you may see the eternal values awaiting you. Fix your focus on my kingdom, where righteousness reigns, where mercy is treasured like a rare jewel, where truth shines unobscured by human deceit. When you choose to center your life on righteousness, you will no longer be dragged about by the shifting winds of society. When you make mercy your standard, you will see others through my eyes, gentle, patient, generous. When you let truth be your compass, you will not lose your way, even when you journey through the dark valleys of trial. Store up treasures in heaven. My child, the world urges you to gather as much as you can so that one day you might feel secure. But I tell you that true security rests where moths cannot destroy, where thieves cannot intrude, where time cannot erode value. The treasures of heaven are the acts of love you give when no one is watching, the forgiveness you extend to those who wounded you, the tears you shed in sincere prayer, the moments when you choose what is right, though the wrong seems easier. All of these are recorded in eternity, never wasted, never forgotten. These are the true riches of your soul. When you prize eternal values, the temptations of the world gradually lose their pull. The things that once captivated you will fade when you taste the sweetness of my presence. You will no longer be swayed by fleeting pleasures, by the applause of the world, or by the mirage of wealth. Your soul will be illuminated by a purer, stronger, and everlasting light, my light. And when that light shines upon your path, every dangerous turning becomes visible, and each step becomes steady beneath your feet. My child, you were not born to chase after things that are dissolving with every passing second. You were created to live with the vision of heaven, carrying within you the essence of what is eternal, so that every choice you make reflects my glory. When you lift your eyes above what is temporary, you will see your life unfold like a vast field overflowing with hope, life, and peace. My beloved child, I want you to understand a sacred truth, one that, if you truly grasp it, will change the course of every spiritual battle you face. Love is the greatest weapon you possess. Not power, not knowledge, not physical strength, but love, a force gentle yet irresistible, quiet yet unbreakable. Love is not merely an emotion, it is my very nature, the living water that flows from my own heart into anyone willing to open themselves and receive it. When you learn to love in the way I teach, your soul will become stronger than any wall of stone. For love softens the hardest hearts, but also brings down every structure built by darkness. As 1 John 4:1-8 says, perfect love drives out fear. And, my child, this is far truer than you realize. A heart that knows how to love is a heart that cannot be held captive by shadows. My child, love me first, not with a fragmented affection that appears only when you need a miracle, but with a devotion that is steady, faithful, and enduring like your very breath. Love me with all your mind, your soul, and your strength, for when I become the center of your heart, everything else falls naturally into place. You love me not because I demand worship, but because in that love, you find freedom. The love you give me will release you from the things that try to bind you, the cravings of the flesh, the pressure of others, the fear of rejection, the obsession with success, and the temptations that seek to shake your soul. When you love me, you will no longer desire to chase after illusions. When you love me, your heart will discover a satisfaction so deep that every temptation fades like a small light before the sun. My child, love others as you love yourself. I know this is not easy. Anyone can love the pleasant and the gentle, but to love the difficult, the misunderstood, the ones who have wounded you, this can only happen when my love flows into you like fresh water. When you love as I love, you do not see others through the lens of their mistakes, but through the value they hold in my eyes. You begin to see fragility beneath harshness, pain beneath indifference, and a longing for acceptance beneath hurtful actions. Love opens your eyes to see who they truly are, not what they have done. And when you love in this way, you become my extended hand, reaching into a fractured life. My child, I must teach you something even harder. Love your enemies. Not so you become someone who allows others to trample you, but so your soul is not imprisoned by bitterness. When you hate someone, you are the one who becomes trapped. When you hold resentment, you bind yourself to the past. When you pursue revenge, you forfeit the peace I long to give you. But when you love your enemies, you break the cycle that darkness seeks to build around your life. You reclaim the authority over your own soul. You refuse to let wounds turn you into someone I did not create. You refuse to let pain twist your heart. My child, loving your enemy is not accepting their wrongdoing. It is refusing to let darkness use them as a tool to destroy your spirit. Love, my child, has a powerful quality. It leaves no space for sin to take root. When your heart is full of love, there is no room for lust, for bitterness, for envy, or for pride. These things grow only in the soil of a heart that is dry and lacking. But when love softens and brightens the soil of your soul, the seeds of darkness cannot sprout. You will no longer desire what is wrong, because what is wrong no longer aligns with the new nature being formed within you. Just as a well-watered tree stands firm in drought, a soul saturated with love stands firm in the face of temptation. Love also transforms what is weak within you into strength. The hidden corners of your heart that you fear others might see will be healed when love is allowed to reach them. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you so you may grow stronger day by day. When you know you are loved unconditionally, you will no longer live in fear of failing. You will dare to rise after stumbling, dare to face the truth, and dare to step into the path I call you to walk without trembling. Love turns fear into courage, weakness into pillars of strength, and doubt into a living, vibrant faith. My child, doubt is not a sign of failure. It is simply evidence that you are stepping into unfamiliar territory. And when you allow love to lead you, doubt ceases to be an obstacle and becomes a force that draws you deeper into me. Love gives you the freedom to ask, the freedom to seek, the freedom to grow without fear of disappointing me. When love becomes your foundation, faith rises like a mighty tree. Storms may shake its branches, but they cannot uproot its roots. My child, when you walk in love, you walk in my presence, for I am love. Wherever love flows, I am there. Wherever mercy spreads, I am there. In every act of forgiveness, protection, or restoration, I am fully present. When you love others, the enemy cannot overcome you, because darkness cannot conquer light, hatred cannot surpass love, slander cannot destroy a heart that chooses forgiveness. The arrows the enemy sends against you will fall harmlessly to the ground, because the armor you wear is my love, enduring, resilient, and unbreakable. My child, Let love become the very breath of your existence. Let it lead you into places you never dared to step into. Let it transform the way you see people, the way you live each day, the way you face adversity. Do not hold love back as if it were something to be rationed. Let it flow freely. For love becomes powerful only when it is given away. And as you walk in love, you will begin to see every promise I have spoken over you come alive, day by day, my beloved child. Let me take you deeper into the journey my love is shaping within your soul. Now that you understand love is the greatest weapon, I want you to grasp an even deeper truth. Love is not only what protects you from the darkness, it is also the path that leads you into the destiny I have prepared. No one can step into their calling without a heart shaped by love. No one can fulfill my purpose unless they learn to love as I love. Love is not a beautiful ornament on the outside. It is the foundation of everything that endures in the realm of heaven. My child, allow me to reveal a truth many overlook. Every calling revolves around love. It is not talent, visibility, strength, or knowledge that has shaken the world, but love. A heart that knows how to love can accomplish what human strength never could. It reconciles what seems beyond repair. It restores souls believed to be lost. It lifts those whom no one else notices. It makes room for quiet miracles to unfold in the unseen places. My child, love holds the power to change the atmosphere of a room, to shift the tone of a household, to redirect the course of a life with nothing more than a simple act. You do not need high status to make an impact. You only need a soft heart in my hands. A gentle word spoken out of love can break chains the enemy has used to bind someone for years. A humble action done in secret can open the door to healing. A sincere act of forgiveness can demolish a fortress of bitterness. My child, I want you to learn to love without expecting anything in return. True love is not measured by the response it receives. It does not give to be praised, help to be acknowledged, or forgive to be respected. True love gives because it knows the only way to overcome darkness is to do what is right, even when no one sees. The world says you become weak when you love without demand. But I tell you that you are strongest when you love without expectation. For in that moment, my love, not human approval, is what flows through you. And, my child, love is also what keeps your heart from becoming hardened. When life exhausts you, when you are misunderstood, wounded, or betrayed, your soul naturally wants to shrink back, to close its doors so no one can touch it again. But when your heart closes, you unknowingly close the door through which I long to enter more deeply. My child, do not be afraid to love again, even when you have been hurt. Your wounds are not the end. They are the doorway through which I pour healing through my love. If you allow love to keep flowing, your wounds will become strength. If you allow love to cease, your wounds will become chains. My child, I want to teach you that love is the only power that enables you to stand firm in the face of accusation. When the enemy says you are not good enough, my love answers that you are chosen. When it whispers that you are unworthy, my love declares that you belong to me. When it tries to make you question your own value, my love reminds you that you were created in my image, not according to the standards of the world. That is why, when you walk in love, every lie gradually loses its hold. The arrows of condemnation can no longer pierce your soul. You become a person whom darkness cannot shake. And, my child, love opens to you the eyes of the Spirit. It allows you to see what the natural eye cannot perceive, the worth of a human soul. When you love, you realize that every person carries a story, a wound, a longing, a tender place where they need my touch. You see their weakness without despising them. You see their mistakes without condemning them. You see their pain without withdrawing from them. When you love, You become like me, the one who came to heal, not destroy, to lift up, not push down, to rescue, not judge. My child, love does not merely drive out anger, it replaces it with steadfast peace. It does not simply erase envy, it brings joy in witnessing others being blessed. It does not just extinguish lust, it fills your heart with purity and respect for yourself. It does not only remove pride, it plants in you a spirit of humility that makes you beautiful in my sight. Love is the gentle wind that cleanses your soul day by day. My child, when love is at work within you, even the hardest trials become opportunities for me to display my greatness. The things that seem designed to break you will become the very places where I lift you up. The people who once wounded you will become instruments I use to shape patience, forgiveness, and compassion within you. Love transforms every situation into a chance to grow, to be sanctified, and to take one more step closer to me. There is one more thing I want you to remember. Love never fails. Everything else may fade: talents, strength, wealth, reputation, but love will not. It remains because it belongs to the eternal. When you choose love in a difficult moment, that moment is recorded in heaven. When you choose forgiveness instead of retaliation, all of heaven rejoices. When you choose patience over anger, I see it and bless you. When you choose compassion instead of indifference, you step into the very rhythm of my heart. My child, I know there will be moments when you grow weary of loving. There will be times you wonder whether love can change anything at all. There will be days when you feel tempted to close your heart and care only for yourself. But my child, do not be deceived by those moments. Love is always doing something even when you cannot see it. It reaches depths your eyes cannot perceive. It transforms the atmosphere in ways you have not yet noticed. It breaks chains you thought could never be shattered. Love always works. Because I, who am love, am always working through it. And finally, my child, I want you to know that when you walk in love, I walk with you. I go before you to make a way. I go behind you to protect you. I walk beside you to uphold you. Love makes my presence tangible in every breath, every step, every word you speak. When you love, you become a light in a darkened world. When you love, you become a warrior of my kingdom, not carrying a sword, but carrying love, the weapon that terrifies darkness the most. My beloved child, I will lead you deeper into the inner chambers of the love I am pouring into your soul, a love that does not merely embellish your spiritual life, but shapes the entire way you see the world, see others, and see yourself. Love is not a lesson you complete and leave behind. It is a lifelong journey, a flowing river that continually invites you to step further, wider, softer, and stronger. If the spirit is soil, then love is water. If the soul is a field, then love is the sunlight. Without it, every seed I sow within you struggles to grow. My child, the first thing I want you to understand is that love never stands still. It is always moving, always expanding, always rising. If your love does not grow from season to season, then it is not true love, but merely a passing emotion. True love does not allow you to remain in selfishness, to stay settled in your comfort, or to live only for yourself. It draws you out of your rigid self-protection, out of the armor you once wore, so that no one could come too close. Love requires courage, courage to expose the heart, courage to face the wounds, courage to let me heal what has been hardened for so long. My child, I know there are wounds within you that make you hesitate to open your heart again. There are memories that make you cautious, words that once cut your soul and now make you falter, betrayals that caused you to build walls around yourself. But my beloved child, What hurt you was not love itself. What hurt you was imperfect love colliding with human brokenness. Do not abandon the journey of love because of those wounds. If you allow old pain to guide your steps, it will lead you into loneliness. But if you allow love to lead you, it will guide you into freedom. Love, my child, does not erase painful memories, but it transforms them into testimonies of my healing. The places that once made you ache will become places where I imprint my glory. The tears you once shed will become streams that refresh the souls of others. The things that once threatened to break you will become proof that I can turn ashes into beauty. Just as I declared in Isaiah 61, my child, allow me to teach you something even deeper. Love is not only an outward feeling, it is also the foundation of spiritual discipline. When you truly love someone, you change because of them. When you truly love me, you learn to let go of the things that pull you away, not out of fear of punishment, but because you do not want to lose the sweetness of my presence. Love enables you to say no to sin naturally, without force. Love leads you to choose the narrow path I call you to, not because you are obligated to walk it, but because deep within, you know that walking with me is the greatest blessing you could ever have. That is why I said, if you love me, keep my commandments. It is not because I need proof of anything, but because obedience is the language of love. When love overflows in you, obedience is no longer a burden but a joy. You do what is right not because you fear being wrong, but because your heart beats in rhythm with mine. You turn from evil not because you fear consequences, but because evil no longer aligns with the new nature I am forming in you. And my child, love is also what expands your vision. When your heart is filled with love, you begin to see others through new eyes. You no longer see them merely through the lens of their actions, but through the story they carry within. You begin to understand that behind harshness lies hidden pain, behind coldness lies fear of being hurt, behind pride lies insecurity, behind aggression lies a silent plea for love. Love does not excuse their wrongdoing, but it allows you to see what they truly need. The only thing that can transform them is me, my child. When you love others with the love I have given you, you become an instrument of healing in my hands. It is not you who heals, it is I who heal through you. Every word you speak when your heart is full of love can reach depths no explanation could ever touch. Every gentle look can tear down walls a person has spent years building around themselves. Every humble act done without seeking recognition can become the seed of eternal transformation. And I want you to understand this deeply when you love your enemies. You strike the weakest point of darkness. Darkness does not know what to do when it is confronted with love. It is accustomed to fighting with hatred, accusation, envy, and fear. But when you respond with love, darkness loses its weapon. It loses its advantage. It loses its control. The enemy wants you to react with anger so it can pull you down to its level. But when you choose love, you remain in the light where it cannot reach you. My child, love is not weakness. It is strength hidden within gentleness. It is not ignoring what is wrong. It is seeing what is right even while facing what is wrong. It is not surrender. It is standing firm in the storm without losing who you are. When you choose to love, you are not shaped by circumstances, you are shaped by me. Love turns anger into peace, fear into trust, and wounds into maturity. It turns what seems unbearable into opportunities for you to become more like me. My child, the greatest transformation in your spiritual life does not come from your effort to be strong. It comes from allowing me to love you and to love others through you. The more you walk in love, the more you will see that darkness no longer carries the weight it once had. Temptations that once easily pulled you will fade. Lies that once made you tremble will lose their echo. Chains that once bound your soul will fall away. For love sets free. My child, Love makes your steps lighter, your sight clearer, your heart wider, and your soul fuller. This is the sign that you are walking in my light, where every deception dissolves, every wound is healed, every fear is driven away, and every promise I have spoken becomes real. Now pray, my Lord, the one who knows every breath and every heartbeat within me. Today, I come before you with all my weakness. I confess that there are moments when I am weary because the battle feels long, because the pressure feels heavy, and because negative voices surround me. But Lord, I ask you to place your hand upon my soul, steady the trembling parts, and strengthen the places that are faltering. Grant me the power to stand firm in trials, the wisdom to discern your will, and the courage to keep walking even when I cannot see the path ahead. I know you go before me, that you fight for me, and that you turn every hardship into growth. Pour your grace into me, Lord, so that I may not only endure but overcome gloriously in your name. Lord, cover me with your mighty arm and your faithfulness. I know this world is filled with temptations, subtle schemes, and sweet invitations that lead me away from the path you prepared for me. Today I ask you to build a hedge of fire around my mind, my heart, and my soul. Help me recognize from the very beginning the things that are not from you, and give me the strength to reject everything that draws me away from your purpose. Protect me from the enemy, from doubt, from worry, from fear, and from the lies it seeks to plant within me. Lord, you alone are my refuge, my strong tower, and the keeper of my soul from all evil. Lord, you who give wisdom generously, today I ask you to open my spiritual eyes so I may clearly see what is your voice, what is the noise of the world, and what is the temptation that comes from darkness. Give me sharper and deeper discernment so I do not accidentally step into paths you never intended for me. When I feel uneasy, remind me to pause. When I feel stirred within, remind me to seek you. When I face difficult decisions, teach me to seek your guidance through prayer, through stillness, and through the whisper you speak into my heart. Lord, grant me the wisdom to see beyond appearances and recognize the true nature of things. Give me a watchful heart so that I never lose the clarity you provide. Beloved Lord, I lay before you the wounds I have carried for far too long, those hidden pains I have kept buried, the memories I have avoided, and the empty places that make me feel lacking. I ask that you step into every part of my soul, especially the corners untouched by light, the places where fear still lingers, and the spaces where I have not yet forgiven myself. Please heal the deepest injuries, the most concealed voids, and the hurts I believed had fallen asleep but still influence me each day. Heal even the things I do not recognize, the things I have not dared to name. You are the mighty healer, and I trust that your presence can soften every hardness, renew all that has grown dry, and revive hopes that seemed extinguished long ago. Lord, there are days when my heart feels unsettled without any clear reason, when a heaviness seems to wrap itself around both my mind and spirit. Today, I ask you to grant me a peace that surpasses all understanding. Let your peace seep into every thought, every breath, every emotion within me. Quiet the places where storms are rising inside my heart, and place your stillness in the areas I cannot control. Help me understand that true peace does not come from stable circumstances, but from placing my full trust in you. Let me experience rest in your arms the way a child rests in the embrace of a loving father, free from fear, free from anxiety, held in perfect safety. Lord, please give me a faith strong enough not to be shaken by what my eyes see. Help me believe in your promises even when circumstances appear to contradict them. when my faith is stretched. May I not break when my waiting becomes long. May I not grow weary when I see no results. May I still continue to trust. Remind me, Lord, that faith is not a feeling but a choice. And today, I choose to believe you, to believe in your goodness, in your faithfulness, and in your perfect timing. Lord, I confess that there are moments when my soul grows so tired that I no longer want to move forward. I feel exhausted, as though I am trying to push through with the little strength I have left. But today, O Lord, I ask that you renew my strength like the eagle, breathe new life into my spirit, restore my joy, reignite my hope, and rekindle the flame of faith that has grown dim. Let me feel your strength in every step I take, so that what once drained me will no longer make me tremble. Give me new strength, not from my own will, but from your divine power. Lord, I cannot see the whole path ahead, but I trust that you see it clearly. Guide me in every decision, whether great or small. Illuminate the road I am meant to walk, open the doors that should open, and close the ones that do not belong to me. Clarify the goals I should pursue, and remove everything that is not part of your plan. Grant me a heart willing to change when you call, and a spirit ready to move when you lead. My future is not being held in my hands. It rests in yours, and this truth gives me peace. Lord, fear is a force that has paralyzed me many times. It makes me feel inadequate, weak, and unworthy. It keeps me clinging to things I should let go of, and prevents me from stepping into what you have called me to. But today, I ask you to break every chain of fear that binds my soul. Teach me to face fear, not with my own strength, but with the authority of your presence. Remind me, if God is for me, who can be against me? Let me walk in freedom, the freedom to love, the freedom to believe, and the freedom to live fully in what you have placed within me. Lord, above all, I ask that your love cover every part of my life. Let me feel that love not merely with my mind, but in every fiber of my soul. Let your love fill every empty place, soothe every wound, and mend every fracture. Help me realize that I do not need to strive to be loved. I am loved, even in my imperfections. May your love become the flame that guides my steps, the strength that lifts me out of the depths, and the light that shines on every choice I make. Your love, O Lord, is my breath, my refuge, and the foundation of everything I am becoming. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we can continue building a strong and vibrant community of faith.